kids, take the road.
I've talked about trends in animation before, and how copycats of trends tend to hurt the animation industry. There were obvious trends, of course, but what about the not so obvious? The series that had a subtle hint of homage to the classics. Today on the History of Fox Kids, we are talking about one such show, but not subtle whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm Robin Grinch, the guy who stole Christmas and gave it to the poor. No, I'm Toonamp, and this is the History of Fox Kids, Ned's Newt. Before we get started, I publish content of questionable quality whenever. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. Or subscribe anyway, I'm not picky. You can keep up with me on social media, or ring that bell to be notified when a new video comes out. With that said, let's do this thing. In November of 1992, Disney released its 31st animated feature, Aladdin. It was a hit and became the highest grossing film of '92. Part of Aladdin's success had to do with one character in the movie, the genie, played by Robin Williams. Genie was over the top, did impressions, and made pop culture references, and could do almost anything. Kids and adults ate it up. Not only did we go see the movie, but we also bought the toys and merchandise. After seeing the success of the character of the genie, other studios got the idea to copy the character. Of course, Disney was the first with Aladdin the series. However, this was the series that made people realize that too much of the genie was a bad thing. Even if he was voiced by Robin Williams, it would still be a bad thing if we didn't have the character in moderation. Because, let's face it, the genie could get annoying after a while. Next came the Mask cartoon, followed by Casper. Both had off-the-wall pop culture referencing and transforming characters. Later on, we would have more overpowered bending the laws of reality and space and time characters. The best examples are Discord from My Little Pony and Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. While Bill Cipher was a straight-up villain, Discord is a more complicated character who comes off cool and collected but also flawed. And then came Uncle Grandpa. Over the top and obnoxious. Though not blatant rip-offs of Genie, you can still tell they were trying to emulate him. But we're here to talk about the most obvious Genie copy of them all, Ned's Newt. But is the character as chilled as Bill Cipher, or is it as obnoxious as Uncle Grandpa? Let's find out. Ned's Newt starts out with Ned daydreaming he has a pet elephant, but snaps out of his dream with the sound of a juicer. Ned tells his mom and dad he's going out to buy an elephant. That's it. No argument about how Ned needs to be responsible when taking care of a pet. Ned just leaves and goes to the pet store. Boy, this is the first episode and you didn't develop any of your characters at all, including Ned. Ned goes to the pet store. However, instead of pricing the other animals and then settling on the one, he goes right to the Newt. Ned takes the Newt home, but it does nothing but lays there. Ned goes back to the pet store, and the pet store owner gives him a can of Zippo Newt food. For the sake of my sanity, I won't point out how underprepared Ned was in owning a pet when he forgets to buy the Newt food. Or how horrible the pet store owner is when he doesn't even suggest getting the pet food. This whole thing is like a PSA of how not to own a pet. For some reason that was never given, the Zippo Newt food made the Newt, whose name is Newton by the way, grow, talk, change shape, and bend the fabric of reality. And now the majority of the first episode is showcasing Newton's talents. Newton doing imitations, puns, transformations, and destroying Ned's home for the 7 minutes of an 11-minute cartoon. I guess that's character development, having some guy doing random things. After Newton destroys the house, Ned's mom and dad wake up to find Ned in the middle of the mess. Ned tries to blame Newton, but the Newt has already turned into a regular Newt. Let's do a cartoon compare, shall we? One of the most brilliant cartoons of all time was 1955's One Froggy Evening. If you're not familiar with the cartoon, it features a frog that could sing and dance and a man who thought he could capitalize on the frog's talent. However, when the man showed off the frog to other people, the frog just sat there and did nothing. The ending of almost every Ned's Newt episode plays out the same way. The Newt causes trouble. Ned tries to tell the others it wasn't him, it was the Newt, only to find out that the Newt turned smaller. therefore passing the blame on to Ned. If the first episode is a reflection of the rest of the series, then this series is in trouble. Newton is a genie copycat, and Ned, well, Ned is just there. Outside of Newton, there's no character development for anyone in the first episode. And again, the only character development of Newton was randomness. At least with Aladdin, there was some kind of balance. Aladdin, Jasmine, Abu, Iago, and Jafar all had defining characteristics that made the movie interesting beyond the genie. In One Froggy Evening, you can tell what type of character the man was with his expressions. The first episode tried to get kids hooked entirely on Newton's antics, which came off more as annoying than it was funny. But that was the first episode. What about the rest? Yeah, it's more of the same. There are different situations, but they're all hindered by giving Newton too much time to do his impressions and goofy stuff, and not really telling a good story. At least with Aladdin, the genie knew when to stop. Also, Harlan Williams is not good at impressions. Good actor, sure. Impressionist, not so much. The animation itself is a cross between Little Shop and Clutter. Not as bad as Little Shop, but not as good as Clutter. At one point, I was told to look at a kid's cartoon series from a kid's perspective. Well, the target audience is ages 5 to 10, 11 something. You have a Newt doing obscure pop culture references that most kids that age are not going to get. So more than likely, they are going to zone out. And then there are the teen and adult viewers. If your character comes off as annoying, prepare to have a short shelf life after it's canceled. Unlike Animaniacs, Powerpuff Girls, and Batman, you will lose your audience when they hit a certain age. I'm expecting that to happen with Teen Titans Go. Sure, the kids love it now, but once puberty kicks in, they're probably not going to like it all that much. Ned's Newt was another foreign series, this time made between Canada and Germany. The series would premiere on February 7th, 1998 at 8:30 a.m. up against One Saturday Morning's brand spanking new Doug. Later on, it would move to 8 on Saturday mornings when Jungle Book was canceled. It would move to weekday mornings in the fall, but would only be played on Tuesdays through Thursdays until January 1st, 1999. The show lasted for 3 seasons, but not on Fox. I wish I could tell you season 2 aired on Fox in the fall of '98, but I have my doubts since Teletoon aired only 9 episodes of the season before Fox Kids canceled the series. As I mentioned before, Ned's Newt was supposed to air in the fall of 1997, replacing Casper. This was listed in TV Guide, and the series was in the Fox Kids promotional video. This was changed at some point because Ninja Turtles The Next Mutation reruns replaced Casper because boy, the series was not doing that well. Ned's Newt was ADD like crazy, and because of that, the show didn't last long in America. I wanted to like this series, but I couldn't stand it when I was a kid, and I still can't. Plus, I was a one Saturday morning kid at the time. Next time on the History of Fox Kids, Dragons Race to the Edge, Voltron, the Legendary Defender, Kung Fu Panda, Legends of Awesomeness, Troll Hunters. Well, DreamWorks television animation had to start somewhere. I'm Toonamp. Thanks for watching.
Hey, mister, what's this?
If I'm Newt,
I'll take it.
what happens when an itsy-bitsy little blob thing turns into a giant?
Wow!
He's incredible! Remarkable!
Excellent!
And oh so lovable!
I'd buy that for $1.
This is great! You're like a real pet now.
It's Ned's Newt, coming this February to Fox Kids. Take the ride.